Have you ever felt your life collapse in front of your very eyes? When everything that made you who you were, your identity, your pride, your entire path forward, just vanishes in a single devastating moment. Imagine this. You're 17 years old. You're already a respected warrior, a member of a powerful and famous clan. And then, on a bloody morning in October of the year 1600, at the Battle of Sekigahara, it's all taken from you. Your army is annihilated. Your clan is erased from existence. The world you belonged to, the world that defined you, turns to ash right before your eyes, and instead of dying with honor on the battlefield, you find yourself running, hunted, humiliated, forced to survive like a common criminal. This was the darkest moment for Miyamoto Musashi, the man who would later become the greatest samurai in Japanese history. But the collapse of his life wasn't the end. It was the forge. It was the fire that shaped his incredible transformation. While wandering through forests, living with nothing but his own discipline and will, Musashi created 5 rules that rebuilt him from the ruins of his old life. And these rules, born from survival, are just as powerful today. This isn't some self-help fluff. These are principles forged in blood, humiliation, and the raw will to survive. Rule 1. Accept the hard reality. Most people, when faced with pain, resist it. They deny it, they bargain with it, they blame life or others. But Musashi looked at his shattered world and simply said, "This is reality. What now?" He didn't ask, "Why me?" He didn't scream, "It's unfair." Acceptance isn't defeat. It's the first step of a strategy. Think about it. If your house is on fire, screaming about the injustice of it won't save you. Running for the exit will. Modern research actually confirms this. The fastest emotional recoveries happen when people stop fighting reality and start planning their next move. So ask yourself right now, what hard reality in your own life are you refusing to accept? Rule 2. Reject weakening pleasures. After the disaster at Sekigahara, Musashi could have easily drowned his sorrows in alcohol, gambling, or other meaningless distractions, just like so many other disgraced samurai did. But he chose the opposite path. He began to live like a warrior monk. He slept outdoors, ate only what was necessary to survive, and trained relentlessly, day in and day out. He understood a core truth. The pain you choose strengthens you. The pain you avoid, the easy way out, ultimately destroys you. Yes, discipline is uncomfortable, but every time you say no to a moment of weakness, you are saying yes to the person you truly want to become. Life guarantees you're going to suffer one way or another, so you might as well choose the kind of suffering that builds you up, not the kind that tears you down. Rule 3. Your emotions are your enemy. The year is 1602. We're on the island of Ganryu. Musashi is about to face Sasaki Kojiro, a legendary swordsman known for his perfect deadly technique. Kojiro is waiting on the beach, and he is tense, he is furious. Musashi, on the other hand, arrives late on purpose. He is calm, centered, and carrying a simple sword he carved from a wooden oar. Kojiro fights with rage. Musashi fights with clarity. The duel lasts less than 30 seconds. The calm mind wins. Neuroscience now proves what Musashi knew instinctively. The decisions we make under intense emotional pressure are almost always the ones we regret the most. Your emotions are like passengers in a car. You are the pilot. You can feel them, you can acknowledge them, but you must not let them grab the steering wheel. When that wave of emotion comes, just breathe. Count to 10. Act with reason. This is the difference between victory and self-destruction. Rule 4. Stop being the center of your own pain. While wandering alone, Musashi began to replay the battle over and over in his mind, tormenting himself with endless what-ifs. This nearly destroyed him more completely than the war itself. So he made a conscious choice to expand his world beyond his own suffering. He started studying philosophy, art, strategy, and even architecture. He learned calligraphy and sculpture. He opened his mind to things that were larger than his own wounds. When your world is small, your pain feels enormous, all-consuming. But when you make your world bigger, your pain becomes just one part of a much greater horizon. Your suffering is real, yes, but it is not the entire universe. You have to feed your mind so that your heart has room to breathe. Rule 5. Gratitude as a weapon. And I don't mean that fake, positive thinking kind of gratitude. I mean strategic gratitude. Musashi trained himself to recognize what he still had: his life, his strength, his freedom, his experience, and the ability to grow from it all. Gratitude literally rewires your brain. People who focus on what they lack fall into despair, but people who focus on what remains develop clarity, courage, and an unbreakable resilience. It's said that Musashi would write down 3 things he was grateful for every single night. Not general things, but specific things. That specificity strengthens the mind. Gratitude isn't softness, it's power. Years later, Musashi was undefeated in over 60 duels. He became a master strategist, a philosopher, and the author of the legendary text, The Book of 5 Rings. He didn't just return to who he was before the collapse. He became something infinitely greater. He became greater because he understood one final critical truth. You cannot go back to your old life. That life is gone. Trying to recover it will only chain you to the past, to a ghost. Instead, you must build a new life, one shaped by what you've learned from the fall, not by what you've lost. Maybe your life has also collapsed in some way. Maybe the person you thought you were has already died. But what if this collapse isn't a punishment? What if it's an invitation? What if the life you're mourning was actually too small for the person you are truly meant to become? Pain is the forge. Pressure is the shaping fire. Collapse is the doorway to transformation. Musashi rebuilt himself from nothing using these 5 rules. Accept reality, reject empty comforts, control your emotion, expand your perspective, and practice strategic gratitude. These rules are not easy. They are not comfortable, but they work. So now the only question that matters is this: which rule will you begin living today? Because just knowing this changes nothing. Acting on it changes everything. Thanks for watching. If this helped you, consider subscribing for more.